Joining us now with more CBS Sports data scientist Rick Gehman. Rick, the summer of Spieth rolls on. The Texas native again sleeping on a 54-hole lead. Jordan always seems to bring the A game in his home state. This week in Fort Worth, no exception to that rule. It was a 66, 4-under on Saturday. Assess what you saw from Spieth here in full control once again in round 3.
It's like our weekly date, Joe, to talk about Jordan Spieth in a final group. It's just time and time again he's putting himself in contention. And what I saw on Saturday was impressive. Him and Jason Kokrak both playing out of that final group, shooting 66s. There were only 3 other rounds that were better all day long. So for those guys to come out of the final group and do what they did is impressive stuff. And, you know, Jordan Spieth has this way of making easy things look difficult, difficult things look easy. And it was more of that on Saturday, where when he was in trouble, he was able to tap into that Spiethian magic to get himself out of difficult situations. And when he was playing out of the fairway, sometimes he hit loose shots. He's been rehearsing this kind of weird new practice swing that we haven't seen him do before. So obviously he's fighting himself, but you throw all that out the window because he made plenty of birdies. His second 9 was excellent. He rolls one in on his final hole of the day. And here we are again, Jordan Spieth making noise and on the verge of potentially winning another golf tournament. So it doesn't seem to matter how he gets it done, Joe. It's just a matter of fact that he does get it done.
Yeah, you make a great point there, Rick, that it's not always going to be picture perfect when it comes to Jordan Spieth. You see some of those shoddy finishes with the putter, a lot of leaning, a lot of body language, like your regular Sunday hack, but he's anything but. Strokes gained putting this week. I know it's a very telling stat that you always are tapped into. He's second in the field right now, gaining better than 2.3 strokes on the field throughout the week. When Jordan Spieth has the putter working, we don't want to operate in superlatives, but is he the best the game has to offer right now?
Yes. I mean, he is really difficult to beat when he starts rolling putts in, because that's the magic. It's always the short game magic, but the rest of his game has been strong, not only this week, but this year. You know, you look at what he's done this week at the Charles Schwab, he's gaining across the board. It's not just being reliant on the putter. He's putting the driver in play more often. And then we know once he gets an iron or a wedge in his hand since the start of the calendar year, he's been the best player on the PGA Tour. So it's more than just the putter, but that's the cheat code, Joe. It's when he starts getting that going, watch out. The rest of the field should be shaking in their boots, because he is Steph Curry. When Steph Curry starts hitting those threes, starts seeing them go down. When Jordan Spieth starts hitting those putts and starts seeing them go down, it's just a matter of time before he runs away from you.
It very much is, as he looks for career win number 13 on Sunday. Even back in 2015, when he was rattling off wins, there was an off week here and there. We're seeing consistency out of Jordan Spieth's game, when just months ago, consistency was something that seemed like a far cry. He was lost at sea a bit here. Where is that consistency in Spieth's, in his game right now, and his results coming from?
Yeah, for me, it's the ball striking. That's what he lost. 2018, 2019, he was spraying it all over the yard. And because he's Jordan Spieth, he was able to make a lot of par saves and kind of get away with it. But it was never enough to get to the top of the leaderboard or put up consistent results on a weekly basis. And now he's a tour average driver, which, when you think about it, is great for Jordan Spieth, because that was usually, in the past couple of years, one of the weakest parts of his game. And he's been able to tap in to that approach play. But I do like looking back at 2015. That, by all accounts, is arguably the best non-Tiger season that we've had in the modern game. So it's always difficult to compare Jordan to himself from 6 years ago, because it's unlikely that him or anybody in the world ever get back to that level. But what he's doing right now is still really impressive. On the verge of winning for the second time this year, the countless top 10s, contending at major championships again. This is starting to feel good with Jordan Spieth back on top of the game of golf.
Before we get to the fantastic round that it was for Jason Kokrak, I do want to talk about the playing surface out there in Fort Worth right now. Hogan's Alley, historic moments of the past always come to mind, but we are talking about a course that is aging a bit. Maybe the yardage, the par is something that these guys could take advantage of. We could see a winning score on Sunday somewhere around 20 under par. What have you made of the challenge put forth at the Charles Schwab this week?
Yeah, it's a staple on the schedule. And Colonial, we know, and there's going to be a huge $20 million renovation in 2 years. And it's going to be a little bit needed, a little bit necessary to make it more difficult for these players. But what I love about Colonial is the routing and the setup. I mean, it really requires you to deal with the ebbs and flows. The first 2 holes, you're able to go out and make some scores. Those are your birdie opportunities. And then there's really a 9-hole stretch, Joe, where you are just holding on for dear life. And you're just hoping to get through that stretch at even par and make up a ton of ground on the field. And then you get to 12, 13, 14, plenty of scoring opportunities there before you get to the closing holes. So it really asks you to only press the gas on the holes that you can take advantage of and to be more cautious on the ones where par is a good score. And there's not a lot of those courses that we have on the PGA Tour anymore where the actual scripting, the routing, and the momentum throughout your round are so critically important.
Well, it appears as if it's going to be a 2-man game of heads-up hold'em at the final table come Sunday. Jason Kokrak, next closest to Spieth, sitting at 14 under. We know Kokrak's always all in, but following that back 931, he does look like a threat. Rick, how big of a threat does Kokrak pose to career win number 13 for Spieth?
You're absolutely right. Jason Kokrak, always all in. And what I think we're seeing this week is really a kind of interesting thing with his game. He has complementary skill sets that when everything gets clicking, he can do things like this. For him to go out in the final pairing and shoot a 66 and be one of the only guy essentially within reach of Jordan Spieth trying to run away from this golf tournament is impressive. And his skill set is as follows. You bomb it off the tee. You hit your irons really well, and then the one thing that he's unlocked in the last 12 months is this club right here. It's the putter, rolling in enough putts. Now, it's not every single week that he's going to be able to put all 3 of those attributes together, but when he does, it's results like this. We saw it at the CJ Cup at Shadow Creek right before the turn of the calendar, and we're seeing it again here. So Jason Kokrak is not going to make it easy for Jordan Spieth, and he's going to put a lot of pressure on him out of that final pairing. It might not be enough because the way Spieth is playing at the moment, but Kokrak is certainly one to at least give you thoughts there over the final 18 holes.
All right, Rick, chips on the table, push him to the center. Who wins it come Sunday at Colonial?
Come on, it's Jordan Spieth. This guy has played at Colonial 8 times. He's averaging a 9.5 place finish. I mean, it's a top 10 on average. He's the best player in the world right now. This is the convergence of being the best player, going to a course you are absolutely dialed in and perfect for, and the opportunity to win for a second time in your home state this season as we head to the summer. I mean, everything says Jordan Spieth wins this golf tournament.
He's Rick Gehman breaking it all down here on CBS Sports HQ. He'll be with us all day Sunday as well. Talk soon, Rick. And don't forget, there's only one place to catch the thrilling conclusion of the Charles Schwab Challenge from Colonial. Jordan Spieth headlining the action come Sunday on CBS. Coverage beginning at 2 Eastern and streaming on Paramount+. And don't forget, for all the latest in the world of golf, there's only one place to be. It's the First Cut Podcast. Our guys take you under the ropes and into the action each and every week on tour. Download and subscribe, The First Cut.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.